Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome on today's lecture, Oligopoly. This is module 13 of this lecture series. I am Dr. Tilak Raj from University Business School, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Oligopoly is a market situation with few large sellers. They are few but big in size. The word oligopoly derived from two Greek words. Oligoi, Oligoi, means few and poly means control. Thus, oligopoly is a market situation where a few large sellers, they are selling either homogeneous means identical or differentiated products. In India, there are several examples we have. For example, airlines. We have Air India, Indian Airlines, Jet Airways, Sahara Airways, etc. etc. Even the automobile producers like Maruti, Tata, Mahindra and Mahindra, etc. We can quote the example of oligopoly. A firm's price and output influence the sale and profit of competitors in oligopoly. Means there is a interdependency in case of the oligopoly. The firms are dependent on each other, and special case of oligopoly is called duopoly. And I am sure after completion of this module you will able to learn characteristics of oligopoly and duopoly market, the types of oligopoly, emergence of oligopoly, why oligopoly exists, the equilibrium form under oligopoly, the price determination under collusive and non-collusive oligopoly. We'll discuss two types. One is collusive and non-collusive oligopoly. Concept of cartel, price leadership, and kinked demand curve. So let us discuss the meaning of oligopoly. I've already stated, oligopoly refers to a market situation in which few firms control the supply of a commodity. A good example can be called that the cold drinks industry we have. There are few sellers, but they are big in size, they are large in size, they have that full control over the supply of a market. When there are few sellers of homogeneous or differentiated product, it is basically the oligopoly market structure. Oligopoly is a situation in which few large firms compete against each other, and there is an element of interdependence in decision making of these firms. There is a interdependence between the firms. A policy of one part of one firm will have immediate effect on competitors who react with their counter policies. If there are two sellers, then we can call it duopoly. So in oligopoly, if the one firm will increase the price, maybe other will not increase the price. But if the other firm will decrease the price, maybe all firm will decrease the price. This is the features interdependency. Let us discuss the features one by one of oligopoly, characteristics of oligopoly. Few in number but large in size. We have already stated the number of sellers dealing in a market, if they are maybe they are homogeneous or differentiated products, is small. There are not large number of buyers and sellers like perfect competition or monopolistic competition. The policy of one seller will have a noticeable impact on the market, mainly on the price and output. It means there's a the interdependency between, that regarding the price and output. Mutual interdependence means, unlike perfect competition and monopoly, the oligopolist is not independent to take decision. There is some interdependency. They are not free to take every decision. Oligopolist has to take into account of the action and reaction of his rival while deciding the price and output policies. As product of oligopolist are close substitutes, the cross elasticity of demand is very high in case of oligopoly. The firm in an oligopoly always consider the reaction of their rival when choosing the price, sale target, even advertising, budget, and their business policies. Since the number of firms is small, changes in price or output by one firm can have direct impact on the other firm. So this is important feature of oligopoly. Existence of price rigidity. Price will or is rigid in case of oligopoly. If an oligopolist reduce the price, his rival will also do so, and therefore it is not advantageous for the oligopolist to reduce the price. And if on the other hand, if an oligopolist tries to raise the price, other will not do so. As a result, they capture the customers of this firm. Hence, oligopolists would never try to either reduce the price or raise the price. This result price rigidity. Means, if one firm in a oligopoly market, suppose we have maximum 10 firm, less than 10 firm or 10 firm, and one of them, say A, firm will reduce the price, and the fundamental law of demand is, if the price will reduce, demand will be high. So other firm will also reduce the price. So it will not be advantageous to him. But if that firm will increase the price, other will not increase the price, and that firm will be in a loss, and that's why there's a price rigidity in case of oligopoly market. Next is the monopoly element. As products are differentiated, the firm enjoys some monopoly power. Not full, but there's some monopoly power. Further, the firm collude with each other, and they can work together to increase the price and earn some monopoly income. So they have some monopoly. They can enjoy the monopoly power. Barrier to entry. Although firm can enter, but they have to pay huge amount. So an oligopoly market, there are various barriers to entry. Although similar to monopoly, the firm in an oligopoly will restrict new firm into the market. The types of barrier to entry are economies of scale. You have to pay huge amount to enter in oligopoly market. Ownership of the patents, the copyrights, name of few the barriers in oligopoly. You cannot say that in oligopoly there is a full control, there is a full restriction, but yes, there is a some barrier. There are some barriers in case of oligopoly. Advertisement, yes, it is another important feature because of oligopoly market. They are competing with each other, so this is an effective tool to shift the demand in favor of the product. Quality improvement will also shift the demand favorably. Both advertisement as well as variations in design and quality are used increase the market share in the oligopolist. Group behavior, the firms under the oligopoly recognize their interdependence and realize the importance of mutual cooperation. They cooperate each other in oligopoly market. Therefore, there is a tendency among them collusion, like cartel. We'll discuss in coming slide. Lack of uniformity. Another feature of oligopoly, the lack of uniformity in the size of the firm. For example, the share of Maruti Udyog in the market segment is very large as compared to the other market, other producers. They are small. Some firms may be very large and other may be very small, which they are selling the same commodity in the market. Another can be the firm can be selling homogeneous or differentiated product. The firms in oligopoly industry may produce either homogeneous or differentiated products. If the firms produce homogeneous like cement, steel, the industry is called pure or perfect oligopoly. And if the firm produce differentiated like automobiles, the industry is called differentiated or imperfect oligopoly. So oligopoly can be homogeneous or it can be differentiated. It can be differentiated. Existence of non-profit motive. Monopolistic competition, other market which we have studied, there is a only or maybe only one motive, that is profit motive. But in case of oligopoly, the firm under oligopoly may not always aims at maximizing its profit. It may have other motive like sale, maximizing, risk minimizing, output maximizing, security maximization, etc. So this was about the oligopoly. Now let us discuss next important market structure, that is duopoly. Duopoly is a special case of oligopoly. Special case of oligopoly when only two firms are there, when there are two monopolists who have shared the monopoly power, then it's called duopoly. It may be two types: duopoly without product differentiation and duopoly with product differentiation. Duopoly without product differentiation. Under the duopoly without product differentiation, there are two monopolies selling the identical product. When two firms in oligopoly are selling the identical or same product, we can say this is the differentiated, or this is the this is homogeneous, or this is duopoly without differentiation. There is no product differentiation. Also, a possibility of for collusion. They may agree price or divide the market for goods in case of duopoly without differentiation. Suppose if there is a no agreement between the two, a constant price war will emerge. In this case, they will earn only normal profit. If their costs are different, the one with lower cost will squeeze out of other and simple monopoly would result. Second, duopoly with product differentiation. Product differentiation means one product can be differentiated with another. Differences can be on the basis of, there are a lot of base, for example the quality, on the basis of color, on the basis of packaging, on the basis of maybe their size, but they are closely substitutable, not perfect substitutable, but they are closely substitutable. When there's a product differentiation, each producer will have his own customer. There's no danger of the price war. There's no agreement. Since products are differentiated, the firm with better product will earn supernormal profit. Now, let us discuss the types of oligopoly. Mainly two types: collusive oligopoly, non-collusive oligopoly. Collusive oligopoly, further, there are two types. One is the cartel and second one price leadership. Collusive oligopoly has two types: cartel and price leadership. Non-oligopoly, Kinked demand curve can be there, game theory is there, and Carnot model and Stackberg, Bertland, etc. We'll focus only Kinked demand curve and collusive oligopoly. First, collusive oligopoly. In collusive oligopoly, firms cooperate with one another jointly and jointly set their price and output. They divide the market among themselves and also make other business decisions jointly. There's a total interdependence with each other. They have only one motive: to increase the profit of the firm, or maybe sales of the firm, or maybe minimize the risk of the firm. In case of non-collusive oligopoly, firms compete with one another and make pricing decision independently. Instead of competition with each other, if the firms follow a common price policy, it is called collusive oligopoly. If the collusion is in the form of an agreement, is called open collusion. If it is an understanding between the firms, then secret collusion can be there. So collusion can be open and can be secret. Open means when there is an agreement. Agreement for the price, agreement maybe for the that market, agreement for the sales of the product. But if there is a understanding among the firms, if they have no open agreement, signed agreement, then it is called secret collusion. Secret collusion. On the other hand, if the firm no agreement or understanding between the oligopoly firms, it is known as the non-collusive oligopoly. Non-collusive oligopoly. There can be, we can also classify the oligopoly on the basis of nature of the product. Nature of the product, I have already stated in the previous slide, oligopoly may be classified on the perfect, pure, or imperfect means differentiated. When the firms are producing identical product, same product, you cannot differentiate one product with another product, we can call perfect or pure oligopoly. But when perfect oligopoly, example you can call the oil producing countries like OPEC. But imperfect, differentiated, like automobiles. Closely substituted product they are producing, but the product can differentiate on the basis of their utility, their packaging, their color, their size, their maybe quality, brand, etc. If the products are homogeneous, then it is called pure. If the products are differentiated, are close substitutes, then it is called as imperfect or differentiated oligopoly. Another classification on the basis of open and closed oligopoly. On the basis of possibility of entry of new forms, oligopoly may be classified open and closed oligopoly. When new forms are free to enter, it's called open oligopoly. If any form can enter, any form can exit, we can call this type of oligopoly. This is known as the open oligopoly. When firms dominate the market and new firms do not have the free entry into the industry, it is called closed oligopoly. There can be a partial and full oligopoly. Partial oligopoly refers to a situation where one firm acts as the leader, others follow it, which is also called as price leadership. One firm become the leader and other firm follow that. That is partial oligopoly. On the other hand, then full oligopoly exists where no firm dominate as the price leader. All firms are behaving equally. Is called, that is full oligopoly. Syndicated and organized oligopoly can be there. Syndicated oligopoly is one in which firms sell their product through a centralized syndicate. They have their own central agency which decide about the price, which decide about the market and the profit. So we can have it. This is called as syndicated oligopoly. Whereas organized oligopoly refers to the situation where the firm organize themselves into a central association for the fixing the price, output, quota, how much they have to sell, where they have to sell, what will be the price policy, what will be the that quantity of output they have to sell. This is called as organized oligopoly. Now the question is, why oligopoly emergence? Why oligopoly exists? What are the reasons of the existence of oligopoly? There are many reasons. First, innovations. Oligopoly is found in industries started by the major invention or innovation. Innovation may have enabled the innovating firm to establish and then maintain their dominance in industry. The innovating firm may have establishing such a well-known name and the reputation that it become very that dominating or that can be totally different from other firms in their name. Second can be economies of scale. Economies of scale In some industry, low cost cannot be achieved unless a firm is producing an on output equal to the substantial percentage of the total available market. Consequently, the number of firms will be tend to be rather small. In addition, there may be the economies of scale in the in the promotion as well as in the production. This is this too may promote the oligopoly. This is can be one of the important reason. Third, control of an essential resources. An oligopoly may result because of few firms have control of an essential resources. In the oil industry, you have seen that the organization of the petroleum exporting country, OPEC, organizes no petroleum exporting countries, control most of the world supply of oil. Those few countries control an essential of resources. It means there's a this is one of the another reason emergence of the oligopoly. Legal restrictions and patent. Another source of emergence of oligopoly is the legal restrictions and patents. Patents can make it difficult for new firm to enter. Patents provide exclusive control over a particular resource of the product for a number of years. There can be another reason, successful differentiation. Some firms are able to establish successful their brand of the differentiated product. This successful differentiation can actually make entry more difficult. New firm who want to enter should have to spend a huge amount on advertisement or on the establishing a new brands. Thus they cannot enter because of already the existence of the firm. There can be large fixed cost in oligopoly may result from the large fixed cost they have to incur to produce a commodity. For example, if you want to produce car, then you need huge amount to spend, which is not possible, that to new firm. A new firm cannot enter or exit because of large fixed cost. So these are some reason why the oligopolist, that exist, and there's why oligopoly. Now, the price and output determination under oligopoly. This is another important thing. The price and output determination under the oligopoly market. There's no general theory which can explain price or output determination in all kinds of oligopoly situation. It is mainly due to interdependence of the firm. Generally, the price of a commodity is determined by the demand and supply. That means cost. In monopoly and competition market, firms make decision and take action with considering how these action will affect other firms, how in turn other firms reaction will affect them. Thus they have definite demand curves or revenue curve. However, there is interdependence of the firm in case of oligopoly. Hence, the decisions of a firm will affect the other firms, which in turn will react in a way that affect the initial firm. This cause uncertainty. That's why thus it is very difficult task to draw the demand curve or revenue curve in case of oligopoly market. So the main reason in determinate price under oligopoly market may be summarized as follows. Different behavior pattern. the firms behave differently in case of oligopoly. In oligopoly, due to interdependence, a vast variety of behavior pattern becomes possible. There's not a single model, but a large variety of model analyzing the price and output determination under oligopoly. Next, indeterminate demand curve. I have already stated another cause of indeterminance of price output in oligopoly is indeterminate demand curve. In oligopoly, you cannot determine demand because of the interdependency there. Because of interdependency there. Because of interdependence, an oligopolist firm cannot have a definite demand curve since it keeps shifting in response to the reaction of rivals. In simple words, the action and the reaction of the rival firms make demand curve indeterminate in case of oligopoly, market. Now, another reason can be the profit maximization is not only the motive. In oligopoly, there can be different motives. A firm under oligopoly may not always aim at maximizing its profit. It may have other motive like sales maximizing, risk minimizing, output maximization, security maximizing, etc. These different motives also contribute to indeterminate the price and output under the oligopoly. Now, let us try to discuss price determination under there are two types of oligopoly, collusive and non-collusive. Collusive cartel, price leadership. Price determination under collusive oligopoly we'll discuss through Kinked demand curve. Now, first cartel. Cartel can be defined as a formal organization or group or firm that tries to act as a firm in the industry. The central agency is delegated the authority to decide not only the total quantity and the price but also the allocation of production among the members of the cartel and the distribution of the profit among them. There are two types of cartel. One, cartel aiming joint profit sharing. Cartel aiming the joint profit sharing, and second one, cartel aiming at the sharing of market. Sharing of market and sharing of profit and joint profit maximization. Two important features, two important types of the cartel. Cartel aiming at joint profit maximization. The aim of such cartel is to maximize the industry profit. Firms enter into a direct agreement with the aim of reducing the uncertainty as a result of mutual interdependence in the cartel aiming at joint profit maximizing. Let us explain with the help of this diagram. Let us assume that two firms formed in a there are two firms and they have an agreement between them. We assume that the cartel will aim at maximizing joint profit. Here we assume that the cartel will aim at maximizing joint profits for the members firm. First of all, cartel will estimate the demand curve of the industry product. Here D is the demand curve of this cartel. See this diagram. DD is the demand curve, MR is the margin revenue curve of the cartel. This is one cartel A, for example, cartel B. The cartel joint profit maximization. They have to maximize the profit of the cartel. These two AB firm or maybe ABC firm, but here we have two firm A and B. They have one motive to maximize the profit of the cartel, profit maximization, and this profit will be distributed among these two firms. And this marginal cost MC1 plus MC2, marginal cost of this, marginal cost of B is equal to the marginal cost of the industry. And A firm is producing OQ quantity, OQ1 quantity, this is OQ2, and the cartel quantity OQ1 plus OQ2. This cartel is the equilibrium point where MC cuts MR. Here MC is equal to MR and MC cuts MR from below. This is the equilibrium condition of the firm. Equilibrium condition of the firm, and here the cartel will be equilibrium, and this profit will be distributed among these two firms. Next, price determination under the collusive oligopoly, the cartel, the problem in joint profit maximization, error in estimation of the market demand. Sometimes they are not able to estimate exact demand, market demand. There can be a high cost firm acts as an obstacle. There is a fear of government intervention, fear of damaging the public image. So there are some problems. Now, second part is the market sharing cartel. These are more popular. Market sharing cartel are more popular. In this form of collusion, firms agree to share the market, but keep a considerable degree of freedom concerning the style of their output, their selling activities, and other decisions. They are independent, they are free, but they have to share the market only. There are two basic methods for sharing the market. One, non-price competition agreement and determination of quota. One, non-price competition agreement and determination of quota. Non-price competition agreement. In this type of cartel, firms agree on a price at which each of them can sell any quantity demanded. Prices are set by the hard bargaining. There will be a bargaining. Those who are in that cartel, in that group, and after bargaining, they fix the price of the commodity. Cost structure of the firm plays very, very important role in such type of cartel. The firm with low cost structure would like to go for lower price, whereas the firm with high cost structure pressing for high prices. So there will be agreement, there will be bargaining between these type of two types of firms, and after bargaining they'll fix the price, but the firm maintain freedom of advertising and selling policies because of they have to share the market only. So they are free to advertise their commodity, they're free to formulate their selling policy. Sharing of the market by agreement on the quota. Second part is sharing of market by agreement on quota. Here firms agree on a specific quantity of quota to be sold in the market at an agreed price. Quota means fixed quantity. In this type of cartel, the cost structure of firm plays again very important role. Based on cost structure, firm decide on the output that each firm can produce fixed quantity. If the cost structure is same for all the firm, they produce same quantity. Second part is the price leadership. Price leadership is a feature of oligopolistic situation. It's very important. One firm assume the role of leader, fix the price of a product or entire industry, and other will follow that the price. The price leadership can be seen when most or all the firms in an industry decide to sell their product at a price fixed by one among them. One firm will fix the price, other will follow that price. That is price leadership. One firm will become a leader, that play a role of a leader, and that will fix the price, other will follow. Other firm in the industry follow the price. Now, the price leadership may be the biggest firm in the industry, or it may be a firm with lowest cost of production. The firm which has large in that the control over the supply, that can become a leader, or the firm which is producing the commodity at very low cost, that become a leader. Its leadership may be established as a result of price war in which it emerges as the winner. The firm which is able to produce the commodity at lower cost, that become the leader in this price leadership. Independent pricing by each firm in the industry is rarely seen in the oligopolistic situation. There will be some agreement among the various firms with regard to price. The agreement among these rivals of firms may be formal or it may be informal. Maybe it can be secret, it can be through a agreement, or it can be just verbal. There may be a formal agreement among the various firms to follow the price fixed by the leader chosen from among them. Or there may be only an informal understanding among themselves. There are three types of price leadership. In oligopoly, when we're discussing the price determination under non-collusive oligopoly, which is price leadership, there are three different types of price leadership. One, price leadership by low cost firm. Two, price leadership by dominant firm. Three, barometric firm, reputed firm. Now let us discuss one by one. Price leadership by low cost firm. In this type of price leadership, firm follow the price set by low cost firm. In case of price leadership by the low cost firm, there can be two types of firm. One may be producing high cost, one may be low cost. The firm which is producing low cost, that become the leader, and other firm follow that, the price fixed by that firm. A firm with low cost structure will be able to change a lower price to the customer. But the firm with the highest cost structure may not able to do so with the same profit ratio. Hence, the firm with highest cost structure follows the firm with low cost structure. For example, there are two firms, firm A and firm B. Firm A is producing P2 OP2 prices, OQ quantity, whereas another firm, that is P2 price, OP2 price, and OQ1 quantity. This is marginal cost curve MC1 of the firm this, MC2 is the price of 2B firm. Average revenue 1 is equal to average revenue 2, margin revenue is equal to margin revenue 2. The point to be noted here that the firm which is producing OP2 price, with another firm which is pricing the same, the quantity OP2. Now, this firm has to follow this price, lower price. P2, this B firm will fix the price and it has to follow the price in the market. Now, price leadership under collusive oligopoly, second part, that is dominant firm. Price leadership of the dominant firm. It is assumed that there is a large dominant firm which has a considerable share of the total market and some smaller firms, each of them having the small market share. This is an assumption that we assume that there are some firms which have large scale, large control over the supply, but some smaller firms are there, each of them having the small market share. So it means one firm control the major portion of the total market or total supply. Hence, that dominate the entire market. The supply of other firms in the market is individually and insignificant because of they have a very small control over the market. The dominant firm fixes the price and other firms simply accept this price. The other firm in the industry fix the output to the price fixed by the leading firm. The leader fixes price that will give it maximum profit. This is important. The leader try to fixes the price at the point where he will, even the followers will be also able to get maximum profit. So he'll try to fix the price at a point where profit may be maximum. So he'll take care of other firms, those which have this small portion in the market. This is the demand and supply of the price. Equilibrium point is here, where demand intersect the supply curve. This is the price. Maybe OP1 is the higher price. The firm will fix the price here only. This is the equilibrium point where margin revenue is equal to marginal cost. Equilibrium point. Equilibrium of the industry. Industry is here in equilibrium. The low price firm can produce OP3 price, but the firm may be fixed here price on this price, so that the maximum profit can be achieved. Now, barometric price leadership. Third is the barometric price leadership. Barometric price leadership refers to the situation in which a price leader acts as the barometer of the prevailing market condition for other firms in the industry. This barometric price leadership can be an old firm, can be experienced firm, can be reputed firm, not necessarily dominant one. We assume that role of leader and fix the price acceptable by all the firms in the industry. The barometric firm, which is one of the old firm, or which is experienced firm, or which is, you can say, the reputed firm, will fix the price, other firm of that industry will follow the price. In order to fix the price, this experienced firm takes into consideration of demand for the product, cost of the production, competition form of the rival producers, etc. After considering the demand for the product, cost of the production, competition from the rival producers, this firm will fix the price and other will follow that price. The leader, while fixing the price, does not look after its own interest, rather it considers the interest of all the firms in the industry, so that their survival is important, that they get the benefited from the price. As the leader protect the interest of all the firms in the industry, all the firm happily follow the price. So this was the price leadership by the barometric firm. There can be aggressive price leadership also. When dominant firm want to eliminate the rival in the market, it may turn into aggressive price leadership. When one firm in the market which dominate and that firm try to want to eliminate all other competitors in the market, it is known as the aggressive price leadership. For this, it may use both legal and illegal methods. The other firm unwillingly accept the leader, the price fixed by it. Now, let us conclude by features. What are the main features of the price leadership? The firm has a considerable share in the total market supply. Only then price leadership play an important role. The firm is reputed one for fixing a suitable price. The firm has initiative in taking timely action after considering the various factors. A firm has a relative cost advantages which gives it a supremacy among the various firms in the industry. What are the merits? Price leadership ensures the survival of both large and small firms. It helps to reduce the uncertainty in the oligopoly market situation by fixing the price. The price fixed by the leader considering the possibility of entry of new firms. The firm will fix a price in such a way that new firm can enter. And it also helps to avoid the government interference or any public criticism. So there are some merits. But problems: if the leader is not able to make a correct estimation of the reactions of the followers, he may lose his leadership. This is one of the important problems. Second, the rival followers may charge lower prices. This price cutting may be in the form of discounts or rebates, credit facilities, after sale services, money back guarantee, easy installment facilities, etc. etc. And the price leader who charges high price now loses part of his market, loses his part of his market. And fifth, even when the rival firms follow the price fixed by leader, they may indulge in non-price competition to increase their sales. Advertising and other sale promotions method like product quality improvement, etc. help this. As the higher price result in super profitability, it may attract new entrants into the industry who may not accept the leader. Price leadership under the non-collusive oligopoly. Two types: price leadership under collusive oligopoly we have discussed. Now, price leadership under non-collusive oligopoly. Here we'll fix on the kink demand curve model. Kink demand model. In this model, the firm is afraid to change its price. The consequence raises of the price and consequence of the lowering the price will focus. In kink demand curve, we have to assume that if there's in that in the firms in that industry, if one firm will increase the price, other will not increase the price, because of there's a possibility if you increase the price, there's a lose the customer, they'll lose the customer, there will be loss. But if that firm will reduce the price, other firm will follow the strategy, that same strategy, and there's a price rigidity. Paul M. Sweezy, Paul M. Sweezy introduced the kink demand curve to explain the determination of equilibrium in oligopolistic market. The kink demand curve, the demand curve facing the oligopoly has a kink at the prevailing price. This is because of each oligopolist believes that if he lowered the price below a prevailing level, his competitor will follow the same his strategy, and if he increase the price above the prevailing level, his competitor will not follow his increase in price. So due to this behavioral pattern of the oligopolist, the upper segment of the demand curve is relatively elastic and lower relatively will be inelastic. Let us see with the help of this diagram. See, this is the kink demand curve. Kink demand curve. DD is this is the combination of two demand curve. One in the this is the market demand curve and this is the individual demand curve. This is more elastic. Market demand curve is more elastic, and this is the less elastic. So this will be kink like this one. See the next diagram. This is now the demand curve of the oligopoly will be like this, blue and this. If the raise your price and your competitors hold the line, you lose a lot of customers and flat MR curve. The demand curve in the kink will like this one. Because of their two demand curve, one is the individual demand curve, market demand curve. We'll see in this next slide, there will be two MR curve. MR curve will be also two. MR curve will be like this, and then this will be broken. It will be broken margin because of the two demand curve, and this depends upon the broken part depends upon the elasticity of these two demand curve, individual demand curve and market demand curve. See this portion. This is the kink demand curve, and here this will be this is one, and then it will like this one, and this is, and the broken part between these two diagram depends upon these two lines depends upon the elasticity of this individual demand curve, this kink demand curve. If the more elastic, there will be less gap between these two marginal revenue curve. Less elastic, this will be more, and equilibrium of firm will be here. The equilibrium of the firm will be here, where MC is equal to MR, MC cuts MR from below. This is based on some assumption I have already stated. If one firm reduces its price, other firm will also reduce its prices. If one firm will increase its prices, other firm will not follow the price or not will increase the price. And there is an established in prevailing prices. The marginal cost curve will pass through the dotted area, this line through the margin level, and here will be equilibrium of the firm. Here will be the equilibrium of the firm. So curve has a gap or discontinue between the G and H. For example, here, sorry, this G and H I am forgetting written here, and this gap in the margin revenue occurs due to the kink demand curve. The length of gap between the two depends upon the elasticity of the demand curve I have already stated. The cost curve of oligopolist pass through this gap between the margin revenue curve. This already we have stated. The major drawback of kink demand curve is that it does not explain the determination of price. It just shows the possibility. It explains only the price rigidity. Further, it is not applicable to price leadership and cartels. Kink demand curve is also not applicable to oligopoly with product differentiation. Due to these deficiencies, a general theory of pricing is impossible under oligopoly market. Now let us summarize this whole module. In this module, we have studied the characteristics of oligopoly market situation, and also an extensive discussion is made on various types of oligopoly market. Types of oligopoly market we have discussed. The price determination under the collusive and non-collusive oligopoly. Cartel and price leadership we have discussed in detail. The price determination under non-collusive oligopoly model we have also discussed. We have also studied the types of price leadership and their merits and the problems. We have also made an extensive discussion on the theory of kink demand curve and the equilibrium form under the oligopoly. Oligopolies may adopt highly competitive strategies in which the case they can generate similar benefits to move the competitive markets structures, such as lower price. An oligopolist may be dynamically efficient in terms of innovation and few product and new product and process development. So with this, thank you very much.